Okay, we have literally all been there. You know the drill. You unplug your phone in the morning, it says 100%, and by lunchtime, it's completely dead and begging for a charger. Or actually, even worse, maybe you've noticed the back of your phone starting to bulge out a bit. Yeah, that's a telltale sign of a swollen battery. Dealing with a failing battery is just incredibly frustrating, and it really puts a drag on your day. But hey, before you run off to some expensive repair shop or drop serious cash on a brand new device, I want to walk you through the ultimate DIY solution.
Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're going to empower you to take back control of your own tech. We are breaking down a completely safe, totally accessible, and highly effective method to change your mobile phone battery all by yourself. And yes, you're going to save a small fortune in the process. Look, you absolutely do not need an engineering degree to pull this off. You just need the right guidance. By the end of this run-through, you're going to feel fully equipped to bring that dying phone right back to life.
So here's our roadmap for today. 1. Essential tools and preparation. 2. Opening phone and removing shield. 3. Safely removing the old battery. And finally, 4. New battery and testing.
All right, let's jump right into part 1, essential tools and preparation. Here's your rapid-fire checklist for the project. You're going to need a heat gun, though honestly a standard hairdryer works perfectly for this, a suction cup, a plastic opener card, a small screwdriver set, a bottle of isopropyl alcohol, your brand new replacement battery, of course, and some double-sided tape. That is literally the whole shebang. These are super simple, inexpensive items, and having them is going to save you from those massive markups at the professional repair desk. Now this right here, this is our secret weapon, isopropyl alcohol. The biggest paradigm shift you really need to grasp is that modern phone repair is way less about electronics and way more about defeating industrial adhesives. It's crazy, but modern smartphone batteries aren't just clipped in anymore. They are heavily glued down to the frame. This alcohol chemically attacks and softens that stubborn glue, which lets you lift the battery out gently, so it completely eliminates the need to aggressively pry or use dangerous physical force on the battery, which, trust me, we absolutely want to avoid. Moving right along to phase 2, opening phone and removing shield. Okay, here's exactly how we break in, safely, of course. Step 1. Always power off your device completely and pop out that SIM card tray. Step 2 is where your heat gun or hairdryer comes in. You want to apply low, consistent heat right around the very edges of the back cover. The whole goal here is just to melt the factory adhesive holding the glass in place. Finally, step 3, apply your suction cup to lift the cover just a tiny bit, just enough to create a small gap. Then you insert your plastic opener card right into that gap and slowly slide it around the edges to slice through the melted glue. Now listen up, because this is absolutely crucial. You've got to take this extremely slow. As you slide that plastic card around the edges, you must be hyper aware of what's inside. A lot of phones have this really delicate ribbon cable connecting a fingerprint sensor on the back cover to the motherboard inside. It's kind of like a booby trap. If you push the card in too far or move too aggressively, you could easily slice right through that ribbon cable. So take your time, stay near the edge, and gently separate the cover. So once the back cover is successfully off and safely set aside, you aren't going to see the bare electronics just yet. Instead, you'll see a protective plastic shield covering the motherboard. Step 1 is just locating the shield. Step 2, grab your screwdriver and carefully back out all those tiny fasteners holding it down. Definitely keep those screws in a safe place. And step 3, gently lift and remove the shield entirely. All right, now we finally have direct access to the main board and the battery. Okay, deep breath. We're on to section 3, safely removing the old battery. Before you even think about touching the physical battery itself, you have got to complete this step. Disconnect the battery connector from the motherboard. You just gently pop the small plastic connector up and away from the board. Look, by severing this power connection first, you completely eliminate the risk of short-circuiting the motherboard while you work on the rest of the phone. Rule of thumb, power always gets disconnected first. I literally cannot emphasize this golden rule enough, folks. Never, under any circumstances, use metal tools, sharp objects, or metal tweezers to pry out the battery. Lithium-ion batteries are wrapped in a relatively soft outer casing. If you happen to puncture or even bend that casing with a metal tool, the internal layers can bridge together. That causes a nasty chemical reaction that leads to a rapid, incredibly dangerous fire, or even an explosion. So, for sure, absolutely no metal on the battery, ever. So, instead of aggressive prying, we're going to let chemistry and patience do the heavy lifting. Step 1, carefully apply a few drops of that isopropyl alcohol we talked about right under the edges of the battery. Step 2, Just wait. Give the alcohol a minute or two to dissolve that intense factory adhesive. Step 3, use the designated plastic pull tab or a flat plastic card to gently lift the battery upwards. If it gives you any resistance, just add a little more alcohol and wait again. It really should eventually lift out smoothly and safely. All right, the boss fight is officially over. Section 4, new battery and testing. The hardest part is totally behind us, and it's time to build this phone back together and claim our victory. First things first, we need to apply a fresh layer of double-sided tape right into the empty battery compartment. This just makes sure the new power source sits snugly and isn't going to rattle around inside your phone. Next, gently press the new battery into place right on top of the tape. Finally, snap the new battery's connector right back onto the motherboard. Now, stop right there. Here is one of the most important pro tips in DIY tech repair. Always, always verify your work before you seal things up. Before you glue that back cover back on, turn the phone on. Plug it into a charger. Make absolutely sure the screen lights up. The battery icon shows that it's actually taking a charge and that everything is functioning exactly as it should. Trust me, it is infinitely easier to fix a loose connection now than it is after you've glued the glass back down. Okay, so you've confirmed the phone is charging perfectly. Awesome. It is time for the final lockdown. Step 1, place that protective plastic shield right back over the motherboard and rescrew all of your fasteners down tight. Step 2, apply a thin layer of specialized phone glue or those thin double-sided adhesive strips around the very edges of the frame and firmly press the back cover into place. And step 3, wrap a few rubber bands around the entire phone. This just keeps consistent pressure on the glass while the glue sets up and dries over the next hour or so.
And boom, there you have it. You just pulled off a seriously technical, money-saving repair all by yourself. By following these structured steps, respecting the tools, and prioritizing safety, you literally just gave your mobile phone a completely new lease on life. So it really begs the question, now that you've successfully conquered a battery replacement and realized exactly how capable you are, what piece of tech are you going to fix next? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay curious, and hey, happy fixing!